welcome back to Planting Seeds Te Whānau with this segment of Bridge the Gap. And, you know, thinking about this kaupapa and when I think about Bridge the Gap, it's all about we know where we are, but there's a space that we want to be in. And sometimes the only missing link is perhaps just knowledge, perhaps it's just one little ingredient just to help us get to where we want to get to. And that's the whole reason for this kaupapa, and to be sitting across the table from a man that I've only known for a short time, but because of the amount of intentional, in-depth conversations that we've been having, it just seems like one of those connections that has just sort of grown into something already. And so, Brother QJ, welcome to the show.
Yeah, kia ora, brother. Tēnā koe.
It feels like that the way, bro. We've had like very minimal time together, but the time that we have shared, it's been super impactful. Like, I've felt that on my end, bro.
Yeah, bro. And when it gels, you know. So I feel very comfortable around you, brother, and hope you feel the same.
Oh, bro, 100%. I just feel inspired around you, to be honest, bro.
Yeah.
Like, you just seem someone who's just very grounded, but you also have a very powerful story to share. And it just represents in the mahi that you do, bro. And it's just going to be cool to bring some of that out of you. And for you, you know, thinking about what it is that you do, is there moments where you can reflect on and be like, I should be here?
Probably every day, bro. You know, the ability to get up and give my children the life that they've got at the moment. The ability for my partner to be able to stay home and raise our kids without having to worry about anything. The ability to have a few companies that are giving opportunities to people to provide for their families. You know, and along the way also getting a few toys here and there, bro. So it's just every day. Very grateful, and still have to pinch myself, bro, as to how a little Māori boy from Whakatāne is rubbing shoulders with some of the people we do and getting some mahi done that we do. Yeah.
But it must be just one of those buzzies. So what do you think a younger version of yourself would be looking at you like, nah, that's not me? Or like, what do you think you'd be sort of looking at you like?
Funnily enough, bro, like I always believed in myself. I always had confidence that I could be something better, but I didn't always have the work ethic for it. You know, I was a bit of a lazy fella, or try and find the shortcut way to get something done. So a bit of a turn point for me was when I met my partner that I'm with now, and she's a workhorse, bro. I sort of saw that and started to utilise that, and I think that was a turning point for me, combined with the ability to dream. And when you can dream something up, bro, and then action it, you become dangerous in a positive way, you know. So
wow.
I was missing that ingredient, but yeah, we're getting there now.
You're probably doing the right things that were going in the wrong direction, eh?
Yep.
You know, in terms of, but then your partner came along, you sort of saw a representation of what it looked like to do something good and where it could get you. And so think about some of those, you know, what were some of those experiences where you felt like, I know I shouldn't be doing this, like my gut's saying, don't do this. But was there a part of you that was like, fuck, I'm going to do it anyway? Like, can you think of moments where that was in your story, bro?
Yeah, bro. Before we went over to Australia, I was sort of tangled up in the wrong world, selling stuff I shouldn't be selling, you know, in the room with the wrong people and going downward fast, even though downward looked like, you know, somewhere I really wanted to be, you know, when there's bags of money lying around, when there's flash cars, when there's motorbikes and all this sort of thing, bro. It's a very tempting life for young, hungry Kiwis, you know, to have a bit of glitz and glam. So I was sort of tracking along that road, and come back to my same story, brother, was when I met my partner, and long story short, she said, we're going to Aussie, you know, that's the end of that life. We're going to go over there and do something good. So fast forward now, bro, we lived over there for not too long, maybe 6 or 7 years. Kicked off a business over there, Western Australia. That expanded back to New Zealand, got into business with, got into business with a couple of real good, with my only my wife. Holy Rick. Got into business, bro, with a couple of really good dudes, and we haven't looked back, you know. Company's doing well now, close to 100 employees, and only just beginning, bro. You know, we're still a baby in terms of what we want to do. It'll be interesting to see in 10 years, bro, looking back, you know, where we are. So it's exciting, brother.
I look forward to seeing
I
that
do, bro,
unfold
I do.
bro. And going over to Aussie, there, I remember hearing in your story that you were sort of set up over there in terms of mahi, but it fell through. You
Yeah.
know, so talk a little bit about that, bro. Like when you got there, and then, you know, you having to forge your way into some mahi.
Yeah, so we had a rocky start, bro. I got over there, and my brother, he's a cousin, but we were raised like brothers. Got there, and he wasn't at the airport, and I found out he'd been getting tangled up in stuff I was as well. So he forgot I was at the airport. So I had to fly back down to Perth, stay with a friend, and just did some courses. So I rang an uncle, said, "What are you?" He said, "I'm a rigger." So, okay, I'm going to be a rigger. So I went and done the courses, bro, 4 weeks. Flew back up to Karratha and got an interview at the ports. Yeah, so as you do, I lied on a CV, filled it out, and I said I was a port worker at Lake Rotorua. Took it in, bro, and the big boss there was a Māori. So that was the first red signal, red light. And I showed him, and he just said, "Boy, there's no cranes at that lake. You know, I used to run the port in Tauranga. Why are you lying to me?" And I was just, bro, head just dropped, bro, and I just said, "Man, I've got a bubba. I got no money. I'll die for this job, bro. You give me a shot, and I'll never let you down, bro." So we had a bit of a laugh, and he gave me a job the next day, 14-hour shifts, bro. Tried to break me. I think it might have been like 6 months or maybe more. That we just smashed mahi every day and never looked back, bro. But we went from New Zealand, bro, 300, 400 bucks a week, and then our first pay in Aussie was $5,000. So $5,000, bro. And I rang my missus crying,
Legal.
bro. Legal. Babe, we made it. Get on the next flight, bro. And she did. She got on the next plane. Her and our son moved over, and that was us, bro.
So you were actually working with the guy who caught you out? Like, were
Yeah,
you
bro,
actually
yep.
with him and his crew and his mob, or was it just you two?
he gave me a job, bro. So I got to give him thanks for that. He gave me a shot. I had no experience. I had tickets, but he pretty much said, "Turn up tomorrow, bro, and rest is up to you." So
Wow.
yeah, but you know, fast forward, he ended up working for us in our new company, brother.
Whoa,
Yeah.
that's buzzy,
So
bro.
that was cool.
Has he one that has said, you know, the words like proud, or has he said anything along those lines, bro? Or?
We haven't spoken in a while, bro. Like we shut down Western Australia a little while ago. I just got sick of flying back over there, among a couple of other things. But it's like a 2-day flight to get to where we were.
right.
So I was just like, nah, shut it down. So we started up Melbourne. We're operational there for a couple of years now, and hopefully we'll make our way up the East Coast, Victoria, Brisbane, Queensland, and then New South Wales as well in time. Yeah.
Well, those are some very ambitious visions, bro. And, you know, thinking about that whole period where you worked 6 months straight, you built up a reputation for yourself, eh?
Yes,
you
bro.
know? So, you know, talk a little bit about that, brother.
Yeah, bro. So I sort of got a name for doing the mahi that no one wanted to do. You know, and over in Aussie, there's a certain amount of time you have to be given notice before you go to work. So if a ship came in and it was like 1 hour's notice, everyone will say, "Nah, not doing it. Next crew," you know, and I'd always say, "Yes, yeah, bro, all good. I'll be there. I'll sweep up the wharf, bro. All good. I'll pack up, bro. It's all good." And there were a couple of Irish boys who used to bring their cranes in, bro. And one day we went to work Monday morning and came home Thursday. We just stayed at work, bro. Showered, carry on work, you know, sleep an hour, carry on working.
Wow.
So when we started our business, bro, those Irish boys remembered, and they went back to their bosses and said, "Hey, let's use these guys." Teed up a meeting, bro, with the biggest crane company up there, and they said, "You got our work." And that was it, bro.
Whoa.
Yeah, a couple of boys left their jobs to give us a hand, and I think at our peak there we might have had 30 guys, you know, which was pretty good for us back then. But I just haven't looked back. Yeah.
Wow, so there's just something in you. Was there any kind of resistance in you, bro, in terms of, you know, because there's jobs that people just don't want to do, as you said, and they don't do it. and then you're doing it, did you ever have like an argument in your head, oh, these useless buggers, or were you just like, oh,
I loved it, bro. Like at our work cars, you go in the gate, you get $325, bro, just to walk in the gate. Then after that, you're on $55 an hour. Then after so many hours, it goes to 100 an hour. And I was like, bro, I'll wash your trucks. I don't care, bro. You know, the bosses were like, go clean our trucks. Yeah, bro, all good. I'll stay here 12 hours cleaning trucks, bro. That's $1,000, you know?
Wow, so it's again just the mindset shift there. There's people there who are complaining about wanting a better situation or more money, but they're not willing to sort of like show up and do the work necessary to do that, eh?
Yeah, we found, and not to say anything bad about Aussie, bro, but we found a lot of people over there, not just Australians, bro, want to do as least as they can possible and get paid as much as they can possible. So that was just a different mindset, bro. I had kids to feed. I had a partner I wanted to support to raise our babies. And when your why's bigger than whatever hurdle you're going through, bro, then it don't matter, you know?
Wow, bro, that's such a cool bloody story, bro, in terms of how your work ethic just started to come through, because you said in the first part there that you just had no work ethic and your wife showed you, or your partner showed you, and then you were able to actually implement that in a new life.
Yeah.
And I know a big thing for you and your family is just having a goal. And you guys are sticking to that plan, bro. You know, do you remember the time when you guys had a session and, hey, this is like what we're going to commit to?
Yeah, bro. Before we went to Australia, the key moment was my brother came home for a holiday. He showed us his pay slip, and I think he was making $2,700 a week, you know. And so for us, it was real, like, these guys are making this sort of money. So from there, bro, we set out a 10-year plan, and we said, okay, let's go over there. In 10 years, we'll come home with $1 million. And we broke it down year by year. We're not going to be able to have a holiday till year 3, come home for Christmas. We're not going to buy any trucks, no toys, nothing, you know, but come home with $1 million. And then we're going to buy a Casey clinic back here. That's my partner's sort of passion, getting into, probably like most of our partners, bro, getting into beauty and go from there, bro. So we're not there yet. We're not at Casey Clinic yet. I think we still will buy something like that along the way. But yeah, we ended up starting our crane business and a few other businesses along the way, bro. And yeah, it's doing all right.
So do you think there was a big moment for you guys, bro, because you guys saw something that was tangible? Then you guys looked at your guys' selves, and then you sort of saw like, well, where do we want to be? And then you sort of started like placing out this plan, and you see year 10, that looks great. But now you're also reminded of where you are now, you know, but breaking it down from year 10 to year 9 and reverse engineering it all the way back. You fellas had a first step. And was that first step Aussie, bro? Like, did it work out in that way? Yeah,
it was, bro. And we sort of did that because my partner's quite structured. And if we've got a plan, we need to have a detailed plan, you know. Whereas me, bro, I'm a dreamer, you know. I firmly believe I can do anything in the world, bro, if I really want to do it. And no one will tell me no, you know. How are we going to do it? I don't know. But if I want to do something, I'm going to 100% do it, you know. And we'll find a way to get there. Whereas my partner's more, okay, we've got this plan. How are we going to get there? Tell me now, and then we'll work to our plan. So we structured that for her, bro. And in the early days, she sort of she didn't struggle. She always believed in me, bro. But I think you've got to kick some goals to really get that belief and trust, to get the momentum, bro. So in the early days, it would be, babe, we're going to have this. I'm going to give you this. You're going to have that. And it would be, okay, you know, how are you going to do that? And I don't know. But now it's like, babe, we're going to do this, this and this. And she's like, you probably will too, you know. And one of the things was sitting with you, brother. You know, when we talked at the gondolas, I said, babe, we're probably going to sit down and have a yarn with the bro one day. I don't know how, but
here we are.
Here we are, brother. You've got a dream.
Because, you know, in the early days, there's that whole corridor around being a dreamer, because you're someone who says, yeah, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, or you're going to have this, you're going to have that. And then people who are listening are like, well, how's that going to happen? You know, but you factored in your mind that you don't know how it's going to happen, but it's going to happen. And sometimes I feel dreamers, their spark gets sort of dimmed because they sort of start to fold into how other people are perceiving it, you know, like their judgment of them, or because they aren't sort of coming into the conversation with like, yeah, bro, you can do it. It sort of like retracts people. And I know for sure, like you're a person who just said, I can do anything that I want. You got to be very mindful of who you share your dreams with, when you get to that kind of space, because if you're just speaking your dreams around people who don't really have that ambition, their insecurities or their judgment of themselves is now projected onto you. But when you're around someone who just has these same dreams, and I know you and the bro Rio had one of those chats yesterday, it creates like way more belief and way more momentum, brother?
But it's a dangerous place to be, brother, when you start getting in the room with people who have the same belief, because you start achieving stuff, bro, that really shouldn't be getting achieved. And like you're right, bro, I don't really share my dreams with too many people. I keep my circle very small. You know, my partner's probably the only one who knows everything about me. And then after that, I've got a very small circle of people who, you know, who understand what I'm trying to do. But it's so important to be a dreamer, bro. I think a part of anything that hasn't been done before, you have to have a dreamer within the fold. But the key is being able to action that dream and surrounding yourself with people, bro, who can support that dream. So I just think you need to also be very aware of your strengths and the areas that you're not strong in, and not be scared to talk about your weaknesses or your work-ons, bro, and then bring in people who are experts in those areas, brother. And when you can have a team like that, hard to stop, bro.
Hard to stop, and that's something that you guys, well, you've been able to, I guess, merge with the right people that has enabled, you know, your guys' business, your guys' rigging business to scale to the level that it has, and probably even further support more growth, you know, that is to come. And talk a little bit about that, bro. Like, you've had this dream, you started a business over there, you've met a few people that, you know, you've got a CFO, someone who handles the finance, you've got another person who sort of helps in different areas. So can you talk a little bit about the structure of how your business like came to be where it is now, bro?
Yeah, sweet. So in the back of my mind, bro, I always knew I needed a strong team around me. I'm not the guy, I'm not a details guy. I'm not the guy who's going to see every little thing in the business and make sure it's on. I'm the dreamer, and then I'll find a way for us to get there, and we need a team to help me to get there, you know. So I've got two business partners, like you mentioned. One's our CFO, and he's something special in terms of numbers and money, bro. If you spend 2 cents 6 years ago, bro, he'll find it and he'll hit you up about it, and he'll ride you, bro, till it's sorted. So, which is really good, because in terms of finance, you know, it's not my cup of tea, you know. But it's really important, but I'm not an accountant, so he ticks that box. My second business partner, he's got a massive background in law, commercial construction, property ownership, and he's a part of his family business, bro, which they rock the show in New Zealand, bro, but not too many people know about them. So he brings a lot of professionalism. He oversees our quality control. He oversees our legal. Whenever I'm in a pickle, I always go to him, and him and I have some really honest conversations and figure out a path for our businesses to press forward. And outside of those guys, bro, we hire the person before the skill set.
Nice.
So they have to be a good person, bro. They have to align with our values, our family values. Why are you being a part of this business before we even talk anything, you know? And then from there, we've got one who's an expert in cranes, 20 years. I wouldn't trade him for no one else. We've got someone else who used to run the prison riot squads, bro, for 25 plus years. So man management, the man, you know, he's awesome. Wouldn't trade him for anything else. And we've got a health and safety officer who's coming in quite new, but he's got a real passion. So we've got a really good team, management team, bro, and from there it filters out to our sites. And we've got a no dickheads policy, bro, from the top down. So no matter how good you are, if you're a dickhead, bro, you'll be down the road.
And what's that like for you, bro, knowing that you've got this solid team and, you know, you're able just to focus on like what you're good at?
Yep.
And I'm sure you've had to like you've made some great decisions, but I'm sure that there's some decisions that are still very hard to make. And what I've learned or what I've heard, I haven't had the experience myself, is that one of the biggest challenges with operating a company and business is that managing of people. And so what is your take on that, bro? Because you've got like 100+ staff, you know, so what does that look like for you?
It was harder for me, bro, in the early days when we had 30 or 40 guys, because I was responsible for pretty much everything in terms of operation, the day-to-day, the guys, helping to win contracts, health and safety. If anything went wrong, it was on me, you know, so that was a real stressful time. And I think once, bro, I've pulled over on the motorway and I got through a period, maybe 3 months, bro, where I was starting to just break down, bro, like crying, whenever I was in the car alone, bro, cry, pull over on the side of the motorway, call my missus, like, I can't do this anymore, you know. And she sort of just talked me through, it's okay, you know.
And was that just the weight and the responsibility?
It was, bro. It was the weight and responsibility. I could never switch off. Everything was my fault. When you're a young company, bro, everything's your fault and you have to own it, even if it wasn't, you know. We had a couple of incidents there where I had to lead the health and safety investigation for no idea of health and safety, bro, so I had to wing it. And if we didn't nail that, we would have lost a major client, bro. You're talking, you know, millions and millions of dollars for our team. You know, so there's a lot of pressure there, and that's slowly been removed, bro, as we've brought in really good managers, bro. And our management team's amazing, bro. You know, they take care of all day-to-day stuff, and it just allows me and our directors to really focus on the growth of the company, meeting with clients, pursuing new opportunities, starting the Crane Academy, bro, creating a school that's never been done before in New Zealand's history. You know, bro, what's 3 young 30-year-olds doing, bro? Starting a Crane Industry Academy. Wow, bro, it's crazy. So bro, I'm so blessed, yeah.
That's crazy, bro, you know, to think about, you know, because obviously you've had some amazing work experience over in Australia, and then you came back to Aotearoa and you just saw the quality of, I guess, some of the sites. You know, you were able to see the gaps and you were able to see the difference in standard, and instead of you just coming in and just participating with it, you were like, nah, we need to change the game, we need to change the standard. And so you created an academy to help facilitate, you know, making some of those changes. And not only did you create the academy, but you're bringing people who need employment or need a sense of direction into this ecosystem that you've created, bro. And so talk a little bit about the academy, bro.
Yeah, bro, like us as directors, our biggest moves and our biggest meetings were always done in a little garage, bro, up in Auckland, just having a couple of drinks, you know, and the boys like their shisha, so we'd catch up at night and just brainstorm, bro, throw ideas around. And we came up with an idea for which was a full circle initiative. So we bring new people into the industry, train them ourselves, give them a job opportunity. From there, they branch into 6 different areas of their choice. They become leaders, and then the leaders in time go back to the training academy and help the young kids come through again, bro.
Nice.
And as the company grows, you know, it becomes self-sustaining and self-sufficient. So it took us about 3 years, bro, to get the Crane Academy off the ground. A few flights down to the Beehive, knocking on the door. I think it was Willie Jackson and his team, maybe Shane Jones. But I was very blessed. One of my good friends, his mum's Annette Sykes, so she's one of the Māori lawyers, and she fired off a couple of emails for me, bro, and said, hey, get this boy in the room. And next week I was in the room, bro. So had my pitch, bro, ready to go. It filtered down, and we got funding last year to bring through 10 guys, you know, which we did. And at the moment, we're just running our second intake, which is another 25 guys, so 35 total. And before the end of the year, we'll be running another one for another 25. So what's that, 60 guys in the last 18 months, bro. And we'll do another 50 every year for the next 5 years.
That is like, bro, that's visionary
cool,
stuff, bro.
bro.
That's cool, bro. Just it's like your whole circle of life in terms of your guys' mahi, but it's also just a window of opportunity for someone who needs it.
Bro.
You know what I mean? It's not like willy-nilly. It's like there are people out there who need an opportunity, who are waiting to like live with a bit of purpose or have something to contribute to or have something that they're doing. And they could be someone who doesn't know anything, but they can come into the space, not only learn about the industry, but they come out with a job at the end. And you've got a business here in Aotearoa, all up and down. You're over in Australia, so there's all of these different gateways that now have opened up to these young people, these young wahine tāne, and just helping them to support their families.
Yeah, bro, yeah, it is. And that's sort of our company was built on not being selfish, bro, and it was built on doing the right thing. Even if it hurts us, we still do the right thing. So when we were brainstorming about this academy, we were looking to service two areas. One was the crane industry that we came home. I came home from Aussie, bro, and I saw guys on sites with jandals and, bro, walking under loads, 2 ton, 3 ton loads. Bro, if anything goes wrong, you're gone, you know. Not showing up, failing drug tests, failing alcohol tests. So one area was, bro, we can change the industry here. And a lot of people saw that as a negative, like, it's rubbish, the crane industry is rubbish. But I saw that as, yes, I can change the game here, you know. So that was one. And then the second part, bro, was the unemployment rate here in New Zealand's crazy, you know. And so what a lot of the companies do is they bring guys in from South Africa and the Philippines. Mean workers, we do it as well. We've got a few of the boys. But I just thought, man, if I'm going to be creating 50 jobs a year, I want 40 of them to be Kiwis, you know. I want 30 of them to be Māori or Pacific Island. And I want 25 of them to be fellas who are coming from single parent homes, because it all relates back to me, bro, what I've gone through. So if I can help a boy, bro, who's going through something I've gone through, then it's all worth it. So, you know, and when we pitched that dream, it wasn't very feasible in terms of making money, but it didn't matter, you know. We're going to do the right thing even if it hurts us. The answer is yes, let's go, you know.
Far out. So it seems very, very intentional, bro. And I just feel like I could be doing more with my life being around you, bro.
Oh, man.
And so think, like, if you were to think about, you know, some of these rooms and some of these boardrooms that you've been in, you know, you've been around people who just have like millions, you know, sometimes even billions, bro. And like, what are some of the things that you're picking up being rubbing shoulders with some of these people in terms of, have you felt like a shift in your confidence, and have they said anything to you that just says like, oh yeah, I'm on the right path here?
I do, bro. And I won't talk too much on my first example, bro, but one of my very, very, very close friends, his family's very wealthy, you know, top echelon in New Zealand. So him and I were going to meetings together seeking contracts. So when you're seeking a contract, bro, you're the B team, you know. So I would go in with the kid down, you know, I'll do anything for this contract. I'll cut costs if I have to, whatever, please, you know. And he would go and, bro, sort of almost demanding stuff just through his demeanour, the way he walks into a room. And I was just like, bro, come on, we need this. And he's like, I know, bro, but it don't matter, you know. I'm the A team here. I'm the number one. It's like, bro, sure enough, bro, boom, contract's done. Not just one contract, you got all our work. Just because of the way he would hold himself, bro. But he was also very knowledgeable in what he was talking about, you know. He knew that we were bringing more to the table than just a crane service. He knew what boxes the client wanted to hear ticked, you know. So from there, I've got a bit of a belief, bro, that if you want to be better in an area, you need to seek someone out that's done it before, or they're doing better than you are. So I've got a little dream where I want to make $1 billion in my lifetime and give it all away. So the road to that is going to find a few billionaires, bro. So I've rubbed shoulders with a couple in small meetings, you know, little coffees here and there just to say hello. But just being in their presence, bro, it inspires something that, damn, you can do this in New Zealand.
Wow.
Someone's done this, bro.
There's this perception of people who have just bucket loads of money that they're just like a little bit stuck up, you know, that's like a perception of people who perhaps don't have that luxury or haven't had that experience. So what's your experience with being around someone who's just, you know, do they walk around like they got it, or is there something more to them? Bro, I'm still a baby in that game. Like, you know, these boys rolling every day with sales, bro. So there's a couple of differences, bro. One is can be very tight, you know, not flaunty, but at the same time, bro, could be wearing a shirt that's worth $4,000 and you'd never know. You'd never know, bro. He's out there doing the gardens, you know, or he pulls up on a car that's worth $1 million, bro, and then him and I are in the warehouse, you know, just getting jandals or something, and he goes back outside to his McLaren or Phantom or something, bro. So when it's time to ball out, bro, they ball out. But I think you get to a point where you don't need to show anyone, you know, you just know you are. It's like when you're ripped, bro. You don't need to walk around with in your undies every day. That's you.
You know, but you can have a hoodie on and don't matter because I'm ripped. You know, I'll take it
Yeah.
off if I want to take it off. So that's where I want to get
It's
to.
like
bro.
when you know you got it, there's no need
Bro.
to flaunt it. Like,
No
who are
need,
you
bro.
trying to impress, you know?
Bro, yeah, and like I said, that garage in Auckland, bro, if someone went in there, they would never know that our mates are worth what they are worth because so humble, you know, just talk like us, but then go outside and got 10 supercars sitting in the shed, bro. You know, that's how they roll, bro. It's awesome.
It just speaks to your nature, though, bro. And I feel it. Like I honestly like feel just like what you have, you know. And it's just there's something about that people just want to be a part of it, bro. And so it really just speaks to you. And I believe, you know, those connections in your story and the things that you've been doing over these years, bro, is just, I feel, you know, very blessed to be in that space and in that conversation, and people who are listening to this show, I'm sure, can feel it too, bro. And so, you know, it's I'm grateful for this connection, G.
Thank
and
you,
your
brother. Me
stories,
too.
your stories next level, bro.
Oh,
You're
I don't know, bro. I
bro.
was just like, man, I'm just living, and when we talk about it, it's cool. Like, but I'm hesitant to talk about it, bro, because I'm not where I want to be. You
Yeah.
know, it's. I know we've had some success, you know, but in terms of where I want us to go, we're on level 1 of 1,000, bro. You know, we're still a baby, so. But it's important to celebrate the little wins that we've had so far.
Oh, 100%, bro. There's always so much room to celebrate, and just enjoying those moments when they do come. Otherwise, sometimes we perhaps could, you know, miss many moments for something that we're working towards, but we get there, but we've lost many moments of some great memories. And we're just talking a little bit off the mic here around that's a space where I'm at the moment is there's certain things that I want to achieve, but there's amazing moments that I know can happen in between. And I just want to be in a space where I could open myself to just enjoy those things. And it's just another way of it doesn't even have to be anything grand to celebrate, but it's moments that deserve recognition and celebration.
And you sort of touched on it there briefly, bro. What has worked for us is sacrifice, you know. The sacrifice that people don't see is the one that counts, bro. This is just my own opinion, but for the first 3, 4, 5 years, bro, us as directors, the other boys actually took no money, bro, for 2 years. You know, I needed a wage because I had my babies, so had a small wage, and the boys got paid back a few years later. And then it was, bro, 20, 30-hour days. No one sees, you know. Don't go to sleep, bro. We work through. You know, it was driving up and down to Auckland every day. It was flying to Wellington the next day and back for work up here to make $1, you know. So sacrifice is so important, bro, and you have to be able to be strong enough within yourself and within your family, if you've got a family, to understand that it ain't going to come tomorrow. You got to put your head down. You got to be willing to not go to the parties, not go to the birthdays, not go and buy that truck that you don't really need, and just knuckle down, bro, because one day it'll flip, and then all of a sudden you're at a space where, whoa,
It's all happening.
It's happening, you know, something's going on here. So
Wow.
sacrifice, bro.
Yeah, and I know that's been like a big thing, you know, for you and even, you know, for your family to be on board too. And it's just pretty next level, bro. You know, I think about, you know, there was that time where you told me that you were working big shifts and your wife was having big shifts, and you fellas saw each other as you were getting home and she was off to mahi. You know, you fellas were subbing. So, you know, sacrifice is a big part of it. And I guess it comes down to you guys had a 10-year plan and you guys were prepared to follow that plan to get there. So you fellas had a vision, you have an idea of the lifestyle that you want to live, and your sacrifice is now in a measurement to that. Whereas people might not be so ambitious, so the sacrifice might not be as grand.
Could be, but
you know. So again, it's really coming into yourself, where you see yourself, and then making those adjustments, but utilizing your story as a way to gauge around, okay, where am I at, and what could I be doing, or what could I be doing better at? So
100, bro, for sure.
So it's been mean, bro, and just want to give it over to you, brother, if there's any sort of like final whakaaro or final thoughts that you might want to share for our listeners.
Just dream big, and when you've got a dream, don't let anyone taint your dream, and be prepared to put the work in. If you can dream big, put the work in, you'll achieve stuff that you're not supposed to achieve in a good way.
Oh, beautiful, brother. Thank you for that. And to everyone watching, thank you so much for being a part of this kaupapa e mihana, and too much, brother.
Thank you, brother.
Mean.
Kia ora, ko Qj Ohia toku ingoa, and this is my Pakihi Māori in 90 seconds. My company is Riggers and Operators, and we provide crane operations and crane hire across Australia and New Zealand. And we also have the New Zealand Crane Academy, which brings new people into the crane industry, where we train them and provide career pathways as well. We started this company for two reasons. The first reason is to provide a better crane industry across Australia and New Zealand. And the second reason is to create a pathway to help lower unemployment in New Zealand. So bringing in new people, training young Kiwis into a career pathway within the crane industry. Today the company's running very well. We're operating out of Melbourne, Auckland, Hamilton, and soon to be Wellington and Queenstown. We have close to 100 employees at the moment, which will keep growing by 25 to 50 each year for the next 5 years, and provide more and more career pathways for as many Kiwis as we can. In the future, we'd like to expand as much as we can across Australasia, increasing our branches along the east coast of Australia and the South Island of New Zealand, but also maintaining our quality to the highest standard.